Pi'erre Bourne.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
This guy was at the forefront of hip-hop in the latter half of the 2010s. He worked with names such as Uzi, Young Thug, Drake, Travis Scott, and even Kanye. But we all know his best beats and his best production was when he worked with Playboi Carti. This man single-handedly carried the entire SoundCloud rap genre and paved his own way in trap. In a darker genre like trap, you hear a lot of subject matter talking about drugs, violence, abuse, and more. But Pi'erre's beats didn't really reflect that. I mean, sure, his biggest song ever, Magnolia, has Carti rapping about, running from the cops and shooting at the ops, but we all know Carti's not from the hood. And the song is just catchy. It's not really like a gang or a violence or like a drug anthem. It's a catchy earworm. Pi'erre himself is also a rapper, but I feel like he thrives most with production. When he broke out the beat for Magnolia, the world stopped to watch. This song became an overnight sensation. It blew up on YouTube, it blew up on TikTok, or maybe Musical.ly at the time. It blew up on Spotify, it blew up everywhere, and of course, it blew up where it all originated, on SoundCloud. Magnolia became the iconic song it is today, and it slingshot their careers into what it is now. Throughout the whole mixtape, Pi'erre produced Let It Go, Woke Up Like This, Ya Mean, Lame, Do That Shit, and in my opinion, these are absolutely the best songs on the entire mixtape. I think the only one that's not produced by Pi'erre that I love very much is Flex, but I mean, those 4 in a row, Ya Mean, Lame, Do That Shit, Flex, is my favorite leg of the entire mixtape. I feel like every time I play it, it's guaranteed that I listen to those 4 tracks back to back. It's kind of like a trap where I just go in and I have to listen to these 4 or else I feel like I won't get like my listen worth when I play the mixtape. Pi'erre and Carti continued to ride their wave of success on Carti's first studio album, Die Lit. Now, everything about this album really embodies exactly what it is, and Die Lit has become one of the most influential turning points in all of hip-hop history. From the album cover, to the ad-libs, the baby voice, the production, everything about this was very, very influential in hip-hop. It was a cult classic. It had high energy songs that were bubbly and nice, and it also had some eerie songs that really embodied the darkness of trap. Some beats were laid back and chill, and other beats were so fast and sweet, it felt like you were gonna overdose on sugar. Pi'erre produced Rip, Old Money, Love Hurts, Right Now, Poke It Out, Home KOD, Fell in Love, Foreign, Pull Up, Mileage, Flatbed Freestyle, Middle of the Summer, Choppa Won't Miss, Rip Fredo, and Top. That's a lot. The entire trap community wanted to sound like Carti and have beats like Pi'erre. They had clones coming in left and right, and they essentially became a great duo. It was only uphill for them from here. They continued to make songs together that were swallowed by consumers. We had Molly, Cancun, Legroom, and of course, Pissy Pamper.
They tryna be crack, yeah, they tryna be crack, yeah, she wanna be Carti, that bitch is a baby.
But these songs, unfortunately, never saw the light of day. Well, officially, I guess. They just remain in the purgatory that is leaks. Even though unofficial, these songs blew up and were a hit. Eager fans got a hold of the leaks and played them to death. People made their own concept albums. People made remixes. People made animation and music videos. People made AI Carti verses on these songs. That's how popular these got. Originally, these songs were supposed to be on the fabled Whole Lotta Red, and it likely would have been Carti's biggest project to date, but instead of releasing it like a Die Lit 2, like everyone wanted and everyone expected, he decided to change it up. And instead of having more beats from Pi'erre, he ended up opting for other producers such as Art Dealer, who produced Long Time, and Filthy, who has become an iconic producer at this point because of Carti. Pi'erre essentially was just kicked to the curb. Now, that's not to say that Carti and Pi'erre aren't still tight. It's just upsetting to see that Pi'erre went from producing almost the entirety of Die Lit to only having 1 or 2 pity tracks on Whole Lotta Red. After the release of Whole Lotta Red, a lot of fans who were expecting a Die Lit 2 really wanted more of Pi'erre's music. So, for a time, he blew up. But unfortunately, the songs remained leaks and were still buried, and the unofficial duo would have dissolved almost completely. It's 2024 and I've really been thinking, where is Pi'erre Bourne? It seemed like this guy was on top of the world and now he just suddenly disappeared. Now, don't get me wrong, Pi'erre Bourne drops a lot of music, okay? Like a lot of music. But I feel like without like the viral hit potential that someone like Carti had, he's kind of just buried away. A lot of the artists that he continues to work with are very small and underground. He kind of reminds me of The Alchemist, but it's a little different. The Alchemist works with a lot of drumless rappers who essentially try to embody the old school hip hop in modern rap. These rappers, like the members of Griselda, Rock Marciano, Earl Sweatshirt, and Action Bronson, are praised for their writing, their creativity, their wittiness, and their ability to storytell. The rappers Pi'erre works with are essentially just Carti clones. They lack energy, they lack motivation, they lack ambition, and they're working in the past. Although Pi'erre has worked with a lot of really influential names like Juicy J, Pi'erre's beats lack the energy they once had, and he doesn't have a strong collaborator to work with in order to bring color to his production. Even to this day, one of his biggest songs that he's dropped post Whole Lotta Red is Switching Lanes, and that's a song that used to be a Carti leak. Look, I know this is a video on Pi'erre, not about Carti, but let me just say this. If you're talking about MF Doom, it'd be really hard to leave out Madlib. It just doesn't make sense. Pi'erre and Carti were like that. They were partners, and they split, now hardly honing in the energy they once had together. It seems like Pi'erre is still loving his craft, even though he's not getting as much attention as he once did before the 2020s. There are some songs where he's tried experimenting, but they weren't the most successful. And I guess unlike the song, he's not switching lanes. He's staying in his own. After hearing a lot of the songs he's been making in the 2020s, you can tell Pi'erre is sticking to a formula. It's really odd, to be honest. These beats sound like they're recycled versions of Dial It or Whole Lotta Red, but they all could have been so much more. Luckily for Pi'erre, there is a silver lining. There still is a market for baby voice trap. People definitely still like that kind of music. It's just not as prevalent as it once was. I think the way hip hop has evolved in the 2020s has really changed the way people perceive and listen to hip hop. You see, experimentation succeeding a lot more than the status quo. You know, I really hope Carti and Pi'erre can get together again because I really want to see Pi'erre be pushed to his limits again. Carti's moving on and doing his own thing, and I want to see Pi'erre also be pushed. It sucks to see Pi'erre still kind of living in the past, but if people are still wanting to listen to these nostalgic 2010 sounds, I'm glad it's Pi'erre who's satiating that hunger. Regardless of everything that's happened, Pi'erre still seems to be living a great life. He's been in Paris pretty recently. He's still dropping new albums, whether they're collabs or his solo projects. Everything is still doing really well. And I do recommend you go and listen to Pi'erre's new stuff, even if they're not the best or if they're not Carti. Wherever Pi'erre is and whatever his art has become, he's still the man that gave us these legendary classics in trap. And to that, I say thank you. So, what do you think of Pi'erre? Do you think trap is moving in a proper direction, or should it return to what Pi'erre is doing now? Is he still making banger music that you really enjoy? Or, do you just revisit these old classics and reflect on the times when Pi'erre was doing something different? Personally, I'm just glad dude is still out there loving life and making music. That's all you can ask for. So, that's it. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and please subscribe. Like the video, whatever, the thing, but peace. Thank you very much for watching.